Hi and welcome to another episode. And what we've got here is a Pro V, Pro 5 maybe, Progressive PCTV tuner box. Blah 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 blah. Says all that again on the back of the box. So I'll flip it over and let you know. But basically, I'm sure you can guess. I need something that converts, composite, S-video, all that fun stuff to VGA, so I can stick it through my OSSC. We can just about see in the corner here. Oh, there's the fancy buttons for it. Because I got rid of my FrameMeister a while back. Maybe not the best thing. I was wanting to get a RetroTink, and then it turned out RetroTink 5X or whatever it's called is a whole lot of money. And I'm sure it's worth it, but it's a whole lot of money that I don't have right now. So I cheaped out and bought this secondhand at all the well-known secondhand places on the internet that starts with an E and ends in a B. Anyway, let's have a look. We've got enjoy your pre-HD TV, so enjoy your standard pictures. Picture quality with anti-flicker picture technology with Pro V. You don't have to throw away your VGA monitor, just have it become your second TV. Okay. With Pro V, you can reduce the risk of being nearsighted while your children play a TV game. Built-in TV tuner for receiving broadcast or cable TV. Pro V takes external video and audio from Laserdisc, DVD player, VCR, camcorder, video game, satellite receiver. Yeah, basically, as if you're watching this, you probably already know, anything that kicks out S-video and so on. We'll get over to the specifications of what it allows, but basically the fun stuff it does, it supports VGA, SVGA and XGA, advanced frame buffer technology, double scan conversion from 15.75 kHz to 31.5 kHz, watch TV or play TV games on your CRT, LCD or plasma display without a PC, support audio as well, including soundcast pass-through, sound card pass-through even, brightness, saturation, contrast, sharpness and hue adjustments. Oh, that's fun. On-screen display operation with infrared remote controller, not control, yeah, plug and play, easy to use and no software driver required. One touch button to switch between TV and PC, automatic channel scan and memorized function. So inside the box you should find a Pro V box, an IR control, not an IR remote controller, just an IR control. Keep up with your messed up stuff. Anyway, power supply, AV cable, VGA cable, audio cable, AAA batteries, coaxial cable option, and user manual. Input, it can take RF signal from antenna or cable, composite video / RCA, audio, left and LNR RCA, so left and right LNR, left and right RCA, S-video, VGA 15-pin D-type connector, audio, phone jack, and the output it does is VGA 15-pin D-type connector, audio, phone jack. Okay. Power supply 12 volts DC. Well, anyway, let's open it up. It shows you like a silly diagram of what can be plugged into what to get it going. Basically it's got what has it got? A video camera, a VCR and a video game all wired up into it, and then you can flick in between and then that'll convert it to your PC and stuffs. Yeah, so actually you can plug your PC into it. I see where it's thinking now. So basically you can have your PC plugged into it. It's a bit, what was it called? Those switcher boxes for keyboards and all that sort of stuff. It's acting like that, but with something that takes more analog pictures and converts it into VGA. I see what it means. But also you can capture from your VCR or directly from the wall, depending which way you want to do it. So the reason why I wanted it though is because you'll know from the last episode is that my wonderful wife got me a Commodore 128, and it has, like the Commodore 64, it has a possibility of composite or what's the other one? S-Video out. So I wanted something that can go through my OSSC. I know I bought that other gadget and it goes through there and that's all fun and everything and does that, but I just wanted to know if it was possible to get an even better picture out of it. Mainly because I like using my OSSC and that's everything all rigged up and done that way. But also this gives me an option for other devices I've got, like my Sega Saturn and stuff like that. So let's have a look. Oh, all the fun stuff having a small table. Let's try to get everything in shot. Right, I'll just put everything over here so we can have a look at it. So, RF cable. Not used one of them in a long time. I probably won't use them either unless I end up with some really old Pong system or something, because analog TV here in the UK was turned off back in 2012, I want to say. So it's not as if I can plug it into the aerial on the roof, because that's all using digital stuff now and everything. So we've got a manual. We'll have a quick look at that in a bit. I'll just leave that to the side. Right, so we've got 3.5mm. I'm glad about that. That's the audio bit it was talking about. A VGA cable. Looks like it's never been used. Composite, which has been used and stuff back in the bag by the looks of it, but that's fine. A remote controller. Looks simple enough. It already mentioned it's AAA batteries, and I've got a couple of them hiding here because I guessed it probably wouldn't have any in. Right, so let's plug them in there. So hopefully, there we go. They are brand new batteries, so that should work. Power supply. There we go. Let's put that box back in there then, because we don't need them again. A bit heavy to put on the flat. And then we've got the gadget itself and some very well, I think that silica gel stuff has done its job by the looks of it. But so what we do not need is, for what I'm doing right now anyway, is the RF cable. We don't need the composite because I'm going to be using a gadget that has its own composite. VGA cable. Oh, we can use this for now, and we use this, and the remote control. So just let me cut the screen so we can have a look at things a little bit more closely. Okay, so before we look at the manual, let's have a look around the back. DC in, so power supply unit goes there, VGA output, VGA input, S-Video input, composite video input, and basically composite audio right and left. Phone in, so basically your 3.5mm direct. So if you were using like your PC, as it was, the manual in the back of the box tries to tell you, you know, so basically 3.5mm straight out from the stereo jack of your computer goes into here, and then you've got the same going back out again, which is the cable that they gave you to get it back out. And obviously RF, or you know, it's analog signal from antenna or something like that goes in there, or from a VCR or something. As I said, the only time I would use that, I think, is if I do actually get hold of an old Pong system. And actually the reason why I've not even been looking at them is because I didn't have a way of capturing it, because the way that many people do it is through like a VCR box. So this gives an option. There's nothing of interest in the bottom apart from a barcode that tells you particularly which one you've got. So let's plug it in. So we've got a VGA output because I want that to go across to my OSSC. There we go. And then we've got the audio out, as it were. I should really say audio in and out rather than phone, because it's not phone, is it? But I know what they're getting at. Right, and then the power supply unit. Oh, I think it's instantly come on, so I'll turn it off again. So as you put the power in, it instantly comes on with a green light. But we'll turn it off because I do want to plug something in. But before I do that, let's have a quick look at the manual. Right, so seems to be all in English. Obviously, I have no idea if there was sort of other language manuals thrown in there as well, but it seems to be just all English. All different specs on the outside. Operating temperatures 5 degrees C up to 45 degrees C. Right, so let's have a look. Introduction, blah 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 blah. Be careful of magnetic fields and stuff. It says that it will handle NTSC, PAL, BGB/G/DK/DK/I, PAL M/N, or SCAN DK TV systems. Easy operation for composite video, S-video, cable/TV or PC. Automatic channel scanning. MTS supported for NTSC system, available in North America and Taiwan market. I don't know if this box does it, or it would be a different box of tricks entirely for those areas. I don't have access to that, of course, being here in the UK. So it's all again of what you should have found inside. The only thing that was missing for me was the batteries, which is fair enough. Yeah, there we go. And then yes, here we go. It's telling you how to, for analog TV and AV system device connections. So yeah. So for S-Video, I'm going to have to get my own S-Video cable. But since I'm getting it for the Commodore 128, I've sent off a special cable that does that already. Yeah, so that looks good. Long distance wiring. When there is no TV signal outlet available in your room and you must have a long distance wiring to the signal from the room, it is strongly recommended to install a low noise indoor amplifier, or a HDA. Okay, fair enough. Getting going, stick the batteries in, blah 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 blah. Select your source. There's a menu you can bring up. It seems from the remote control, so the remote control is needed because there is no menu button on the front of the machine. You can move around the on-screen display, you can mess around with the volume, the sound, stuff like that. We can look at resolutions, so that's good. Sort of standard resolutions in 4:3 on VGA for PAL. So yeah, I bet there must have been a whole different version for the NTSC side of things. General stuff really, and if you messed around with TVs and this sort of stuff before, you probably already know. Oh, we've got channel settings. So actually I could, if there were still analog still kicking about, it seems that I could actually get this to tune in. Oh, that's nice. For back in the day, it was actually like, basically then you could turn your VGA monitor into a normal TV set, really. Back in the day, of course, we've got no interest in doing that sort of thing nowadays. Be interesting to know if it did pick up teletext by chance, but there doesn't seem to be any teletext buttons or anything like that, so I kind of doubt it. Right, let's get it plugged in and see what it does. Now to test, I have, dragging all this across, this silly little retro arcade little joystick boxy thing that has some very dodgy games for you able to play. So yeah, let's get it all plugged in. So at the back and there, And obviously this cable, you can see probably already, it just takes the mono and splits it into left and right. So there is no particular left and right on these cables, because obviously it's mono getting sent to both. It's just so that on a stereo setup you haven't just got sound just coming out the left or just coming out the right. It's both. Rubbish mono is actually coming out of both stereo speakers, which means you're still getting mono, but it's not directed just from the one speaker side. So let me turn this on and then press some fancy buttons so that you get a picture input. One thing to do is to turn on the OSSC, but I'll come back to you in a moment. So that's what we have. So it says C video, not S video, C video. Composite video? Aha, that makes sense because that's what we're using, composite video. Dun, dun, dun. Right, so let's turn on this little device. You should see a tiny little red light come on just about. There we go. And I have to say that's composite, and I know how rubbish the signal out of this little thing is. As you can see, it's just running off of a couple of batteries. That's a nice picture in conversion of the way it's doing it. Let's go to the menu and let's see if we could change it down to that. Whoa, it didn't like that, did it? So let's press menu again. Menu. Let me exit. Preferences. That's what I want. Resolution. Let's just push it to 160. Is it gonna like that? No, it's not gonna like that either. That might be the OSSC not liking the picture, but yeah. So it was more the OSSC messing around with the funny pictures. It may well be that I can make it go lower, but let's stick with this for now. Let's bring up the menu, picture. Maybe we can, oh, here we go, we can reset it. There we go. Default reset. There. Now that looks a lot nicer. There's no grayness. That's what the picture should look like. So, that must have been some presetting someone else has done for some other system. But to say this is composite out of a battery driven thing getting sent through a device called the Pro V, getting sent through my OSSC, then going into the capture stuff, yeah. And as for delay, right, I'm pressing up. 1, 2, 3, up. It's instant. I cannot tell any delay, which is really, really nice. I mean, I'm sure there is a delay. I'm sure there is for those, you know, twitchy people out there that like, oh, I pressed it and half a millisecond later it didn't move. But for me, this seems fine. Let's play this silly F. So obviously one thing I want to test is sound. And this is the bit where I've got to figure out which bit has the sound. Okay, so it was down to me messing around with the connections and stuff. Basically, I can get the audio through. I'm just not going to mess around even more right now to get that done. But the audio is nice and clear. Please believe me on that. Basically, as long as you don't push it all the way up to, oh, here we go, dun dun dun. I think it goes all the way up to 63. Yeah, there we go. I found if it goes there, there's sort of like a brrrr noise, whereas I bring it down to 40. There is no background hissing, popping noise going on, but then I can bring the volume up on my TV and it's fine. And I'm sure they'll be saying when I bother to do the wiring properly again to go across my mixing desk, it'll be fine as well. So, in wraps to it, let's try to start the game. And yeah, this is as ugly as this thing looks. Anyway, this is no worse than actually plugging it straight into my TV. I got a bomb, there we go. If I press fire, Oh, let's not die first, but oh, I have died. There we go. You can see that and hear that I'm clicking the fire button and it's firing instantaneously. So it's very, very fast at converting it, and as we know, the OSSC is very fast at converting as well. Obviously there is a lag, but as I say, I'm not going to complain about really, really tiny lag. I'm not that much of a twitcher when it comes to games. What can we say? If you can get your hands on a Pro V, let's get the box back up again. If you can get your hands on a Pro V, I would definitely do as such. It's a worthwhile bit of kit, in my humble opinion. It does what it says on the tin, as they say. As I say, I picked it up for, what did I pick it up for? About £15, if that. So that's about the going price for it at the moment. If you see one, get one. If you're into retro gear that doesn't have RGB out, I suppose, because OSSC does the RGB out. This basically is what it's doing. It's turning the composite or the S-video or even RF into RGB in the same way of VGA sort of standard, and then the OSSC understands that. So for a cheap alternative of making the OSSC do that, I do think this is a great little bit of kit. Who knows, in the future I might buy an RF style game console now that I know I've got a way of getting it going. I don't know how good that picture would be. Could do with a bit more backing with that. Speaking of which, if you want to become a patron, links are down below. If you want to subscribe, great, because it would be nice to get to 1,000, so I can actually start getting a little bit of money from the ads. And then on the rest of it, press the like or don't, it's up to you. But as always, happy gaming.